Hi guys, welcome back to Nita Crotchets. My name is Anita. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this Hello Kitty ear flap hat. It's very simple. This is a size 3 months to 6 months kid size or baby size, but I'm going to be sharing adjustments for a toddler size, a baby size, toddler size, and then an adult size. All right, here is everything we are going to need for the tutorial. We are going to need a tape measure, and then our yarn. I am using size 4 yarn, but also size 3 is okay, although it may differ in the sizing. Then a yarn needle, and I am working with a 3.5mm hook, and then you'll need a pair of scissors. The tape measure is just literally to share my measurements of my hat, so that just in case someone is working with a different yarn size, they can still get accurate results just like I have. Now, first of all, we are going to make a magic circle. And here I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the circle, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. This does not count as a stitch. Now, to get my work started, I am going to work 8 single crochets into the magic circle. Okay, so I've worked one so far, and I'm going to work my second. I'm just going to keep getting into the circle and working a single crochet until I have all 8 single crochets. All right. Now, a written pattern is going to be on my shops, Etsy, Ravelry, and Coffee Shop. Also, I opened the shop with Yarnsare, and I'm going to be sharing a link for the site as well, just in case someone is more comfortable purchasing from there. You can always purchase my new patterns from there. Only the new patterns. The old ones are on Etsy, Coffee Shop, and Ravelry. Now, once we come to the end of our 8 single crochets, we are going to work a slip stitch into the very first stitch that started the row. Now, at this point, I'm starting my second row, and I'm going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch, but it's just our turning chains. And I'm going to work two double crochets. We work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch, just like that. Now here for this row, we are going to be working 2 double crochets into every stitch all the way around, and by the time we come to the end of our row, you should have 16 stitches in total. Okay, so I'm going to let you work 2 double crochets into every stitch all the way around until you come to the end of the row. Then work a slip stitch into the second chain stitch of the 2 chains that started the row, and I'm going to meet you there, then show you what to do next. So here I am. I have my 16 stitches complete, so I'm going to get into the second chain stitch and work a slip stitch to end my row, just like that. So this is what I have of my work. To start the next row, I am going to chain 2. Remember, this doesn't act as a stitch. So I'm going to get into that very first stitch, and I'm going to work 2 double crochets. Okay, there you go. We have 2 double crochets in there. Now I'm going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch as well. So you get in there and work 2 double crochets. Work 2 double crochets into that next stitch. So even for this row, we are going to be working 2 double crochets into every stitch all the way around until we come to the end of our row. Okay, so for this row, if we work 2 double crochets into every stitch, we are going to end up with a total of 32 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to let you go all the way around, working 2 double crochets into every stitch all the way around until you have 32 stitches, and then you work a slip stitch into the second chain stitch of the 2 chains that started the row. That's where I'm going to meet you guys and then show you how to work the next row. Now we have our stitches complete. So to end my row, I am going to get into the second chain stitch of the 2 chains that started this row, and I will work a slip stitch. Okay, so this is how my work looks like so far. Yours should look the same. You see that? Now here I am going to chain 2, and into that very first stitch I'm going to work 1 double crochet. Then I will work 1 double crochet in the next, work 1 double crochet into the next. Now you're going to continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way around until you come to the end of the row. So that means even for this row we are going to have 32 stitches in total. Okay, so I'm going to let you go all the way around working 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. Okay, right there. Then work a slip stitch into the third chain stitch, into the second chain stitch of the 2 chains that started the row. Let me meet you guys there, then show you what to do. Here we are. Now to start my next row, I am going to chain 2. Into that very first stitch I am going to work 2 double crochets. So that's 1, and then I work the second one, work my second double crochet into that very same stitch. So I have 2 double crochets into the very first stitch. Now into the next stitch I am going to work 1 double crochet, then work 2 double crochets into that next one, right there, work 1 double crochet in the next, work 2 double crochets into the next, so this you are going to do repeatedly, working 2 double crochets into this stitch and then working 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So do this repeatedly all the way around until you come to the end of your row. All right, you should have 48 stitches. Now once you have gone all the way around and worked your double crochets as they should be, this is how your work should look like. Now before I go any further, I'm going to just explain something about sizing. For the 3 months, 6 months baby size, this is enough width. Now for the adult size, as you can see, I had that second row where I had 2 double crochets into every stitch, like you can see here. Then I had the third row, 2 double crochets into every stitch. Then here, which is the fourth, I had 1 double crochet into every stitch. And now the fifth, which we have been working, is where I had 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet. Okay, in that manner. Now the next row was 1 double crochet into every stitch, which I am going to work next on my baby size. Now after that, you can see here I have 2 double crochets, then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then after that I had a normal row, which was 1 double crochet into every stitch. Now to just adjust to the sizing that you want, what we keep doing is we just keep increasing. As you can see here, my last row of increment, I had 2 double crochets into this stitch and then 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches, then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. Now for my baby size, I have stopped increasing at 2 double crochets into this stitch and then 1 double crochet in the next. For the toddler size, which I am going to be working, I am going to stop increasing when I get to the row of increment, which is 2 double crochets into this side stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. For the adult size, I stopped increasing when I was at 2 double crochets into this stitch and then 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. I hope you guys really get to understand what I'm explaining, but let's go forward. Now here I am going to chain 2, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way around until I come to the end of my row. Okay, now if you're working the baby size, which is 3 to 6 months, we are not going to work any increases anymore. So for you, you are going to continue working normal rows. What I mean by a normal row is a row where we have not had any increment or whatsoever. We are just working 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. So this is what we are going to do here. If you're working the baby size, you're going to go on working your normal rows until you have 5 normal rows, like 5. So you repeat this, working 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 4 rows. Okay, then I'll meet you there. If you're working a toddler size, like 2 years, around 2 years something, you are going to work 1 normal row. Then after that, you are going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. Okay, then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. You do that for that next row, and after that you work normal rows. You just work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 5 rows. So I have included instructions for both the baby size, the toddler size, and then the adult size. That means for the baby size and the toddler size, we keep working normal rows of just 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next for all stitches until the end of the row, and you do that for the next 5 rows, even for the toddler size. Now for the adult size, you do that for the next 7 rows. All right, after that you're going to count all the stitches that you have on your last row, and when I get back, I'm going to show you how to work your ear flaps onto your hat. All right, so for the small size, I have a total of 54 stitches on my last row. For the medium size, I have a total of 64 stitches on my last row, and then for the adult size, I have a total of I think it is 90 stitches. Yeah, but it's clearer in the written pattern. Everything is clearer. Included the number of stitches for every hat into the written pattern, and you can get that on my Ko-fi shop. I have put the link in the description box. Now to start working our ear flaps, we are going to chain 2, and then that's after you worked your rows. So you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. Oh no, we don't turn our work yet. So you're going to chain 2, and we are going to work 2 double crochets together into the first 2 stitches. Okay, and then for the baby size, you're going to work 4 double crochets into the next 4 stitches. So that means you work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 4 stitches. For the toddler size, you are going to work 8 double crochets into the next 8 stitches, and then for the adult size, you're going to work 9 double crochets into the next 9 stitches. Okay, I hope I am clear. Let me see what I have. 4, I think I worked 6. Because this one is the toddler size. The 5, 4, 5, and then 6. Right there. Now after you have that, besides, let me mention, for the toddler size, you work 6 double crochets into the next 6 stitches. For the adult size, you work 9 double crochets into the next 9 stitches. For the baby size, you work 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. Then after that, you're going to work 2 double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. All right, now to work our next row for the ear flap, we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. Once again, we work at decrease. So we are going to be working at decrease both when starting and ending the row. So here we are going to work 2 double crochets together into the first 2 stitches. So you pull through all, and there you have your 2 double crochets together. Now you're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left to end your row, okay? Until you have 2 stitches left to end your row, just work 1 double crochet into every stitch. And this is what we are going to keep doing for the next rows until we just have decreased that we have only 1 stitch left for our ear flap, okay? So just work 1 double crochet into every stitch, and once you have 2 stitches to end the row, it doesn't matter what size you're working for, into those last 2 stitches we are going to work 2 double crochets together. So into the last 2 stitches we still work at decrease. All right, so I'm going to let you guys go ahead and work the next rows on your own. Just make sure that you start with a decrease, which is 2 double crochets together into the first 2 stitches and 2 double crochets together into the last 2 stitches. So you're going to decrease until you have 1 stitch on your row, okay? Just decrease until you have 1 stitch on your row. For the adult size, I think to have that 1 stitch you will have to work 3 double crochets together on your last row. That will be the last decrease. For these others, because I made sure the number of stitches is even, you're just going to keep decreasing until you have 1 stitch left to end your row. I think your last row should be at 2 double crochet together. So I'm going to let you do that until the end of the row, and I'm going to get back to show you how to work your left ear flap. So here we are. I have come to the end of my decrease, and once you get there you're going to chain 1, secure your end, cut your yarn and secure your end, and this is how it should look like. Now to work our second ear flap, you're going to count and skip 18 stitches for the baby size, and then 22 stitches for the toddler size and 32 stitches for the adult size. So you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch. All right, so for the baby size you insert your hook into the 19th stitch from your previously worked ear flap, and then toddler size you insert your hook into the 23rd stitch from counting from the last stitch of your previous row on the heart. And then the adult size you insert your hook into the 33rd stitch from your previous ear flap. So as you can see, even with the ear flaps, I've made sure the sizing is different. The ear flap for the baby size is kind of smaller. I have a decrease here, which is 2 double crochets together, then it is 4 stitches and then the decrease. All right, so even the sizing is going to have to differ. The toddler size I had to work 6 double crochets in between before the next decrease, and then the adult size I worked 9 double crochets before the next decrease. So once again we are just going to follow exactly what we have done for our right ear flap and work all the way down, decreasing to get our ear flap. I just needed you guys to know into which stitch to start working your ear flap. So I'm going to let you go ahead and work your right ear flap without my help. Just copy and paste everything we have done for the previous ear flap, and then paste it here. And after you have your right ear flap worked, I'm going to get back now and show you how to work along the edges. So just insert your hook into the stitch that I told you to insert it into, and pull through your yarn, chain 2, start working your 2 double crochets together and the number of stitches as I have told you that you worked for your previous ear flap, and just keep decreasing the way we have done for the previous ear flap, and just do that until you have 1 stitch on your row. The only difference this time that we are not going to cut our yarn, instead we are going to continue from where we have stopped to start working along the edges of our heart. All right, so here I am done with my ear flap, and this is how it looks like. All right, so we have both ear flaps. What's left is working along our edges before we start now working on the applique. Working along the edges is pretty much simple. We are just going to chain 1 and turn our work towards the edges, and To get started, I am going to work a single crochet into this very last stitch. Now, because I am working along double crochet posts, I'm going to be working two single crochets into every double crochet post. I don't like to put both single crochets at one point. So what I usually do is I work one single crochet into the bottom of the post and the other single crochet into the center of that post. Okay, right there. Into the middle of that post is where I work the second single crochet. But either way, everything works. Just make sure that you have two single crochets into every double crochet post as we work towards getting back to the edge of the hat. Okay, but because the ear flaps are double crochet posts, that's what we have to do. So you're going to keep working your two single crochets into every double crochet post until you get back to the edge of the hat right there. So I'm going to work my second single crochet in there, and then the other single crochet will be worked into the bottom of this post right there. So from here I am just going to work one single crochet into every stitch all the way along until I get to the next ear flap. And even here I am going to work two single crochets into every double crochet post. I'm going to meet you at the corner of the next post right there. That's where I'm going to meet you. Here we are. I am at the corner. I have worked my stitches all the way. When I got to the second ear flap, I still worked two single crochets into every double crochet post until the tip of that ear flap. So here I am. Because this is a corner, we need to have a turning point. And to have that, I'm going to work 3 single crochets into the very same spot. Actually, it's better we work 4 single crochets in the very same spot. This is just to help us turn over and create some sort of like corner. Okay, so I like to work 2 single crochets on this side of that corner and then 2 single crochets on the other side of that corner. It all gives me a total of 4 single crochets just to help me turn over. And once I have turned over to the other side, I'm going to resume working 2 single crochets into every double crochet post until I am back to the edge of the hat. And once there, I will work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way along the post and, you know, back to the edge of the other ear flap where I also have to work 2 single crochets into every double crochet post. So it is that simple. You just have to go around following that. Where you see double crochet posts, you work 2 single crochets into every post, and where you see a stitch, you just work 1 stitch, 1 single crochet into every stitch, right? So I'm going to let you go all the way, working along your edge all the way until you get to the tip right there of the first ear flap that you worked, and at the tip you will work 4 single crochets, then work a slip stitch to end your row. Now, like I said, at the corner you work 4 single crochets and work a slip stitch to end your row. So you will just attach another color of yarn and now work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way. When you get to the tips, just work your 4 single crochets at the corners, you know, at the tips of the ear flaps. I'm going to go through again with the off-white yarn or any color that you choose to work with, all right, just to give it some bit of highlight. Okay, so this is how your work should look like after you have gone through that whole entire procedure and cut your yarn. All right, this is how your work should look like. So I am truly done with the hat. You could probably, if you don't want the applique, I think you're almost at the end of, you know, finishing your ear flap hat. But if you're still going on with me, now is the time that we make our 3D ears. Okay, now for the 3D ears, I'm going to just get my yarn and make a magic circle, insert my hook into the yarn and pull through a loop after I have yarn over, and then that will be like my starting stitch, but it doesn't count as a stitch. So I'm going to get into the circle and work 8 single crochets. Okay, you work 8 single crochets into the circle. All right, And once you have all 8 single crochets, you are now going to pull this end of the yarn to close that circle. So just like that. I have all 8 now. I think I have all 8. So I'm going to pull this end to close up my circle, just like that. You just have to, try to pull it and make sure it closes that circle. So once we have that, we are now going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we are going to work 1/2 double crochet into the very first stitch right there, and then we work 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, work 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, now you're going to continue working 2 half double crochets into every stitch until you have 1 stitch to end your row. Okay, work 2 half double crochets into every stitch until you have 1 stitch to end your row. That's where I'm going to meet you guys and then show you what to do. And once we have once we have worked all the stitches and we have 1 stitch left to end the row, into that last stitch we are going to work 1/2 double crochet. Okay, and then chain 1, turn your work. This is how your work should look like so far. Chain 1, turn your work. Once again, you're going to work 1/2 double crochet into the very first stitch, and then you will work 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, work 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch, just like that, work 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. So the series here is working 1/2 double crochet into this stitch and then 2 half double crochets in the next. Okay, so I'm going to let you go all the way around, working 1/2 double crochet into this stitch and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and do that until you get to the end of your row. But remember, I think your last stitch is where you now have to work those 2 half double crochets. Do not work 2 half double crochets. So that means you're going to go all the way around until you have 2 stitches left to end your row, and into those last 2 stitches you're going to work 1/2 double crochet into each stitch. That's how you end your row. So the essence of that is not to have an increase in the last row, because it's going to make our ear curvy at the edges, yet I want to keep a straight bottom. All right, that's the essence of that. So that means in the last row, in the last stitch, you're just going to work 1/2 double crochet, just like that. Okay, that's how we keep a straight bottom, because I want a straight bottom without it, being curvy. Now for the next row, we are going to chain 1, turn our work. Into that very first stitch we work 1/2 double crochet. I am maintaining the 1/2 double crochet into the first and last stitches because I want to keep a straight bottom. Now into the next stitch you're going to work 2 half double crochets, and then you will work 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches. What I mean by that is you work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch for the next 2 stitches, and after that the next stitch will have 2 half double crochets into the very same stitch. Okay, so for this row the sequence is 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches and 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. All right, so do that all the way around your ear until you come to the end of your row. Make sure that your last stitch is 1/2 double crochet, because we want to keep a straight bottom. All right, So go all the way around, and I'm going to get back to show you how to work the last row of your ear. So once I am done with my row, I'm going to cut my yarn and attach the whichever color of yarn that you're using to highlight, the edges of your work is what you are going to attach, and then you'll chain one and work one single crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of the row. And this is the last row of your ear. So go all the way around, just working one single crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row to show you what to do. So here we are. I have come to the end of my row, just like that. And then we are now going to insert our hook into that very first stitch and work a slip stitch. This helps us fold the bottom of our ear to give us, that, 3D effect of what an ear should look like. So here I'm going to cut my yarn from a length because I want to use this yarn end to hand sew the ear onto the hat. So I'll pull through to secure my end, just like that. Now you're going to follow the very same technique to work your second ear because we need 2 of these, okay? And once you have those 2, it should look like this. Now I'm going to get back to show you how to work the applique. Here we are. I am now going to work the eyes, the lips, and the bow, okay? So let's get started. So we are going to get our black yarn and we are going to make a magic knot. A magic circle, sorry. We're going to make a magic circle, yarn over, insert hook into the circle and pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So to start, we are going to work 10 single crochets into the circle, okay? Work 10 single crochets into the circle. Oh, also, I didn't mention, I am using I think size 2 double strands for my eyes because it is kind of softer and thinner. But if you're still using the very same size of yarn that you worked with using your hat, then it's better you work 8 single crochets for your eye, okay? So once you have all the single crochets, you're just going to pull the yarn end for the circle to get closed up, okay? After you have your single crochets, just pull the circle, close it up, and once you do, you are now going to work a slip stitch into the very first stitch that started the row. Now with this you have your eye complete, and you're just going to follow the very same procedure for your second eye because we need 2 eyes, okay? So there you go. Once you have that, you have worked your slip stitch and closed your circle. You'll cut this yarn end from a length because we need to use the yarn end to hand sew it onto the hat, and then I'll pull through just so that I secure my end, just like that. So just follow the very same procedure to work your second eye. Now let me get back to show you how to work your second eye, and also the very same procedure to work your lip. The only difference is you're working the lip using red yarn, but the eyes are going to be using black yarn. You can use any other color of yarn that you choose, but yes, just follow the very same procedure for both the second eye and the lip, okay? So let me get back to show you how to work the bow. So you see that also the lip is just by the same procedure, nothing different really, nothing new, but this is how it should look like as well. Just make sure you work the lip using red yarn, all right? So now at this point, we just need the bow. Now I have the eyes, I have the lip, and now I need the bow. So get your yarn and work a slip knot. Then you are going to chain 9, all right? And you will work you will work a half double crochet into the second chain stitch from the hook. Okay, it depends on how wide you want your bow to be. It could be maybe chain 7 and work half double crochet into the second stitch from the from the hook. But yes, once you have that, you're going to work one half double crochet into the second chain stitch from the hook. Then you work one half double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of your row. Okay, so just work all the way until the end of your row. Your bow could consist of 6 stitches or 8 stitches, but 8 stitches should be the maximum. It should be the maximum of the width for the bow. So just make sure you do that. Now work your half double crochets all the way until the end of the row, and once you have come to the end of the row, you are going to chain 1, turn your work one half double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. You see, so you chain 1, turn your work one half double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. So you do this repeatedly for the next rows. I'm going to let you just keep repeating that, and I'm going to get back to show you the number of rows I have worked. All right. So once I have come to the end of my row, I have a total of 6 rows. I'm going to cut my yarn from a no, sorry, I almost said good length, but no. Yeah, you just, cut your yarn. You will weave in that end later. Now we are going to get our yarn and start wrapping it at the center of this. Okay, we are just going to keep wrapping it at the center of this to create a bow. Okay, so once you have that, you are going to cut this at a length and just put it aside, but make sure it's not going to come out. Now I'm going to get back my heart and lay it flat onto my table. So I'm going to make sure that I have put my ear onto the 4th, 5th row right there. I feel like that's where it has to go. Basically attaching it onto the 4th and 5th row. That's for the toddler size and also for the baby size. For the adult size, I think it's quite better to go all the way down to the 5th and 6th row, right? So get your pins and just try to pin the ears there. Hand sewing this is kind of tricky because you feel like it's very impossible to attach it, but there is no magic, honestly. You just have to figure out a way that you can hand sew it onto the hat, right? So I'm going to get my yarn needle and get my yarn through the eyelet of my needle, then start hand sewing. I'm using the yarn end from the ear, because I always told you to cut the yarn at a length, because it's that yarn end that I want you guys to use to attach all these things that we have been, crocheting. So like I said, the 4th and 5th row right there. So I'm going to get my hook, and I'm going to insert my yarn needle through the ear and then through the hat. Okay, so I pull through from the inside of the hat just like that, and then push through to the ear from the inside of the hat coming out. Okay, it's kind of tricky. So when I come out, I will prick through the ear to push me to the back of the ear, right? So I come through from the back of the ear, and then from the back of the ear, like that, I'm going to insert my hook into the hat. Okay, So pushing through from the back and going inside the heart, and then once you're inside the heart like that, still you insert your yarn needle through the front of the ear to the back of the ear, and then insert through the back of the ear down to the inside of the heart. That's the technique. That's what you have to follow to actually be in position to attach these ears onto the heart, or else you will feel like you don't have a way to like just hand sew this on. I'm using the highlighted yarn so it may show. So my advice is you could use the yarn that was of the same color of the ear if you feel like you may not be in position to pull off a neat hand sewing, okay, the one that doesn't leave any marks showing. So go ahead and attach your ear just like that. I am confident that now you can do this on your own, so I'm going to let you do the very same thing on the other side of the ear so that we have both ears attached, and I'm going to get back to show you how to attach the eyes, lip, and then the whisks. So here we are. I'm going to get our bow. Remember we left a yarn end, so it's what I'm going to use. Insert the yarn end through the eyelet of my needle, just like that. And now I'm just going to make sure that I place this bow at the bottom of one of these ears right there. So it's just you using that yarn end and making your way through the center of the bow and then through the ear itself. All right, guys, like I said, please, it's just that I'm going to have a way to cover these, the yarn that is showing. I made sure that I hand sewed the other ear very, very perfectly. It left no, yarns showing, but it's more better to work with the yarn that is of the color of the heart so that you don't leave any yarn showing of the hand sewing onto of the hand sewing of the ear onto the heart. So just make your way through just like that to attach your bow onto the ear. Everything else is just going to be worked at a speed because there is nothing new. You're going to get your eyes and just place them where you feel like this is where the eyes have to sit to give you that look, and then you will attach the eyes and attach the lips, and I'm just going to get back to show you how to sew your whisks onto the heart. Okay, so just go through this whole entire process on your own, and I'm going to get back to show you how to work the whisks. So once you have your eyes attached, your lip attached, this is how it should look like. Now I'm just going to show you how to work the whisks. We are going to get our black yarn and just find a point at the side, but right at the center of the eyes and the lip, okay? But on the sides, that's where you go. Insert your yarn needle through from the inside, pushing out to the outside of the heart, then insert to the inside, come back to your starting point, insert, pull through your yarn needle, and then insert once again onto the other side where you make a diagonal line. Now from the inside, you are going to come through, making sure that now you're going to work a straight line starting from your starting point, and then once again you insert your hook at the end of that straight line. You insert your yarn needle, pull up, okay, and then insert to the other side where you started from. So once again, to create that second diagonal line, you insert through the inside of the heart and insert to your starting point, going back to the inside of the heart. So it's that simple. I just don't have a particular way to describe that, but once you are through with that, you're just now going to cut your yarn and secure your ends, right? Then cut your ends, make sure you weave in all ends. And I think we are almost at the end of this tutorial, because now what's left is working our straps. Okay, so this is how it looks like so far. I hope you guys have had fun making this. Now for the straps, I'm just going to have my long strands of yarn right here. I've made sure that I get all the colors, black, gray and white, but not red, because it's going to be very shouting. So yes, I'm going to get to the corners of these ear flaps, and just into one of those stitches I'll get two to three strands of yarn and insert and pull through, just like that. I just want to make sure that when I pull, these yarn ends are of similar length. Okay, the yarn ends are of similar length, just like that. So I pull one side, yeah, just like that. Okay, and then I'll go into the next stitch and get 2 or 3 of these strands of yarn and pull through. You just pull through one side of those strands of yarn like that. All right, so that's how you add it onto that. And then you get, I have made sure that I have 3 strands of yarn for each color. Okay, so you can do the same, or you can maybe work less or more. It's really up to you, but just make sure there are not more than 3 strands of yarn, because you don't want a very thick strap, as it may end up being stiff, okay, and too thick. Okay, so once we have this, we are now just going to use the basic knowledge of braiding, and we are going to braid our strands of yarn all the way down to create a strap. Okay, I don't know if you all know how to braid, but if you don't, maybe you can just work chains for your strap, honestly. But for me, this is the best option you guys could use to work your straps, and it will also look very, very beautiful. So I'm just going to braid my way all the way down, and I'll use the very same technique for my second ear flap. Okay, so let me meet you all the way down once I have braided my strands and show you what to do. So once I've braided my strands of yarn all the way down, what's left for me is I'm going to just hold the end of this so my work doesn't come out, and then I'm going to make a knot at the end. Okay, I make sure that the knot goes all the way down to where I last braided my strands of yarn. Okay, so I'm just going to pull and fasten this. After this, I will cut the ends of my yarn strands just to create a little fringe, and that's how you have your strap. So use the very same knowledge for your second strap on the other side. And I think now we have come to the end of our tutorial. The written pattern for all sizes is available on my shop, so I'll leave the link in the description box. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.